Good morning, everyone. It's Eric with His&Hers HHQ. First, um, Sunday was a snafu. So Sunday's video was recorded, things were situated, and then Sunday's video was deleted without getting uploaded, obviously. So that gave me just the extra couple of days, and it was no big deal, you know. It happens. So this is where we're at. I'm actually looking, hopefully, for a Friday finish. The cab is already attached, and it's in place. The interior of the cab obviously is in place. The biggest thing is I didn't do windows for the cab, and let me see if I can find them. I have them cut out. I don't know how well you can see them. I had them cut out and shaped and all that situated. However, every time I tried something, it would pick up a glint and it would ruin the effect of the skull. So as a personal thing, and since this is just for the family, I'm not putting a windshield in place. And I will show you that here in just a moment. Pardon me. We do have, as you can see, Zero the Ghost Dog's grave site, and then we've got a special guest grave site. I had this extra space over here. I wanted to add a little something. I know some people be like, oh, you could do trees or something like that. I've rewatched that scene several times, and there's not a whole lot around Zero's headstone, at least in the immediate area. So I went with a surprise guest, and I say surprise guest because we're going to be thinking along the lines of Tim Burton again, since this here is basically all Tim Burton / Nightmare Before Christmas themed. One of Tim Burton's other popular cult characters is going to have their own headstone. So, real quick, this here is the terrain. Now, all of this here is situated and done. What I'm going to do is prime the whole thing gray. And then all of this here will get a dark rust effect going on. Once grayed, the tombstone here, Zero's tombstone, will get a couple of dark washes. So we'll be able to pick out the little skull and face there. But otherwise, this here is, I mean, pretty unique. I've got the pathway kind of marked out. It's kind of loosely there, but it's defined but not clearly defined in the movie. So that's what we're going to kind of do here. Once everything's got the primer on it, like the terrain itself will get a brown or dark brown, black, gray wash, and then I'll go over it with like a dark dry brush to give it that right feel. But the pathway will get a slightly lighter dry brush, so it's shown well worn. But yeah, I haven't put the information here for the individual who will be the surprise guest. But when I do the final reveal, it'll be there. The hint is it's a major, or it has a major fan following. He really does. So that's going to be our surprise guest. This is Zero. Zero's headstone. Speaking of Zero, I have to get the bottom done, but what I eventually had to do was go with the milliput. This was the best job I could do. The what's it called? Sculpey. The Sculpey just wasn't working with me. So I went and tried the milliput, and this was probably the best one I've done. Now, I couldn't get it any smaller than that so it would fit in the cab. So our little Zero here, I'm going to break out some clear sprue and cut some down to size, and Zero is going to get a spot next to his headstone. But I do have to do the ears and the body part. But again, he's going to get his own little clear spot up here by his headstone, or just off the path, so that if I can pull off at least Jack Skellington anytime, then yeah, Jack's gonna get placed in the scene, and Zero is going to be following Jack. So we've got all this. The base itself, this here, once the bed and everything is attached, which I still have to do the white stripes on. I'm not looking forward to those, but I will get them on there. The base, however, I am debating whether or not to actually physically attach it, or just leave it removable, so I could maybe at some point in time change scenes. And let me explain. When I laid down all this groundwork, this is the first time I've ever done something diorama-ish like this. Not, I mean, you know, since I was a Cub Scout making the little shoebox dioramas with plastic critters and stuff like that, and it was more like a diorama. So this here is actually the first time I've really tried to step outside of my comfort zone, and I loved doing it. This stuff here, of course, it's got a foam core base, but then what I did was I laid in I took plaster of Paris, some Mod Podge, and some paint, and a little bit of water, mixed it all up until I had a weird paste, and then laid it out. Then I used my, just a second, then I used my really big rough brush here to just drag in the scene lines, which if you watch the movie, these exist in the cemetery, so that's why it looks like this. So what I'm thinking is I will leave at least this part of it loose, and then I can change up scenes and play around with it some other time and do other diorama scenes from the movie and just keep swapping out the scenes. Now, I was asked this. It was an honest question. The back wheels still spin, but the front wheels don't. I had the option of them actually working, but I decided to glue them so that there was no issues. But otherwise, everything here is already attached and good to go. And like I said, let me get that out of the way before I accidentally break something. Every time I tried to get those windshield pieces in place, there would get to be a glare and it wouldn't look right. So I left them out. I mean, it just makes sense. It's a skull. The hood does open. I swear it does. And see, we got everything all nice and lined up. So, yeah. I'm thinking as little as I actually have left to do, I'm going to be having the final on Friday, which I can't put the scene on there without the bed. Duh. So that's about where we're at. We're that close to done. And I mean, this has been a fun and exciting build, and I'm so glad I undertook it. The family requested it, and it turned into a Nightmare Before Christmas themed, and then it had to be related to Halloween because Jack is the Pumpkin King, and you know, a Halloween town, and it was Halloween themed. So I'm glad I undertook this. This here has been I've tried all kinds of new things, and I'm glad I did. I can improve things. I can do better next time. But for my very first time really going crazy like this, I don't think I've done too bad so far. So just a little bit more, we'll be done. And I'm glad you all joined me for this amazing adventure. One more video to go. Should be one more video to go. And this one will be in the books. And then I'll be able to focus on the Pride of Your Country buddy build between myself and Mark at Blue Streak Customs. And of course, November 7th is the start of the Fat Fenders Fins and Chrome. And I'm really kind of looking forward to that one. So that'll be, well, getting this out of the way and then get to the Pride of Your Country. And then come November 7th, I'll be starting on that one. And again, there may be an additional build going in there, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm Eric with His&Hers HHQ. If you haven't yet, head on over to Facebook and follow us at His&Hers Hobby Headquarters. Take a moment, like, subscribe, share the content, share the love of scale model building. This is an extraordinary community, and I am absolutely honored to be a part of it. And as always, take a moment, comment below. Maybe 5 minutes, it may be 5 days. But, you know, as of late, it's been a couple of days. I'm sorry. But I do try to be as interactive as possible. And I will get back with you. I will reply. There are several videos that I need to catch up on, and a lot of you have done fantastic work, and instead of naming everybody off here in one of my videos, I'm going to go over there and comment as soon as I can. Otherwise, that's it for this video. I'm Eric. Have a good day.